There it is.
Where? Are we on Twitch?
Yeah.
Sweet. See the live?
Oh, yep, I can hear it.
Definitely audible.
I don't think Twitch can hear you.
Yeah, you might need to turn on your desktop
Just use
audio and
Twitch
your
use.
mic.
Something, but it hears us. No one
No
can
one can
hear
hear
you.
us?
No one can hear you.
No.
When I checked,
Can you hear me?
I heard everyone else except you.
Oh, so we're good. But just feeling. Oh no.
There should be a
Great.
button on Streamlabs for you to turn on your mic. We're coming through desktop audio, and you'll need to turn on your mic for both Streamlabs, and it's already on for StreamYard.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second. I'm gonna turn on Twitch audio again.
Thank you, friends. La 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 la. New tech.
Can hear you.
Into the unknown. I don't even know if I sang that right. I haven't seen that movie yet. I'll get there.
Oh my god, it's so much better than the first one.
It took me like 5 years to see the first one, honestly.
Okay,
Same.
this one is better. It's literally like it talks about clinical
Stuff.
depression.
Ooh.
It talks about colonialism.
Ooh.
And like it's really yeah.
Right,
It's pretty amazing.
Right,
What are we talking about?
Frozen 2.
Frozen 2.
Alright, hello Twitch. We are gaming in a bit. Yes, we are starting to use I am starting to use Streamlabs on my jalopy of a computer, and it's going okay. But yeah, still some stuff to work out. Okay, but you know, we're here. I think we look, the screen looks more interesting than it usually does. I don't know. Do we like the overlay? Do we need another new overlay? I could make more. The Photoshop was the easy
You're
part.
getting addicted.
Yeah. Alright, so today's game, we're going to finish up the, in the middle of combat, it's Legos, yes. Okay, so now I can see chat, but I can't see private chat.
Oh no!
So this will be a little interesting.
dear.
So, yeah, we'll work this out.
Oh, ping on Discord.
Cyber bees. Yeah,
Yay!
I hope so. Cyber bees might be the only thing that can save us now. Anyway,
Bees?
or bee-sized geese, because that was a brain-changing experience. And if you didn't see that, so if you look at our Twitch page, there is now a link to a YouTube channel with all of our old episodes, including VODs that aren't up anymore, and go have at it. I've heard other streamers refer to them as their YouTube graveyard, and I'm not saying that's inaccurate, but, you know, it's nice in case, you know, one platform should go nuclear to have one's media backed up on another. But yeah, thanks for coming in to watch. So today's game session will be a little bit different, as we're going to finish up the plot arc from the previous episodes. And then we're going to go into flashback mode a little bit, as it has been requested, or put forth by my players, that it's like, could we figure out how more about our shared backgrounds, rather than just continuing to throw us into new situations from your ST brain. And I'm like, sure. And unfortunately, the Decuma stuff hasn't come out yet, which I backed, but Merc showed me the Savage Worlds version. So I have a deck of playing cards and a deck of the tarot cards I used to take to LARPs and freak people out with. So between the two of those, we will have an interesting time. So hello, I'm Ms. Chrysilla on all the social medias, and I'm a storyteller tonight. Welcome to our weird Muppet show of sci-fi mayhem and vampires. Next, Dune.
It's time to make the music. It's time to light the lights. No, kidding.
I'm not. I'm into it.
I'm Mark. I play Dune, the Wolf Blood, from Wolf Country, who came to the city because Wolf Country is not a good place to be if you're not a full-blood wolf. So, yes. He's the fighter, nominally. He's been doing a lot of talking for a fighter. And he knows a lot of people because he's been here for 60 years.
Yeah, humans are even close. No, none of the main cast is exactly a vanilla human. This is a mixed NWoD venue, so we're talking, when Dune says werewolf, Dune means Forsaken werewolf, which are a lot meaner than the Apocalypse werewolves, let me tell you. But even regular humans live a lot longer in the future, even when the future kind of sucks. But it doesn't suck in Eden at all. Eden is perfect. Anyway, next.
Welcome to Eden, such a perfect town. No, sorry.
Uh,
Also, Dune's probably the closest you get to a vanilla human in this group.
yeah. Right.
Wow, I love how you say Dune is more of a vanilla human than Klaus, who's
I
trying to
said-
pass as a vanilla human.
I said he's the closest you'll get. Not that he is, not that he's passing.
Anywho, next, Petruchio, who is you?
Right, so I am Dark-Sandy, and I'm portraying Petruchio. Hey, how you doing? I'm the vampire boss here around these parts, and don't worry about it.
Alright, Presley, who is you while I reach unceremoniously for my dice? Because I do need those.
Hi, I am Summer Splendor. I portray Presley, who is a changeling, who has turned out to have a bit of a drug problem, apparently. Not her own fault. A lot of people just seem to give them to her a lot, and she doesn't know how to say no. She likes fun. Yeah, she is the top saleswoman at Carve Tourism, and yeah.
You remembered
That's
the company name! Yay!
Also,
What?
Presley, you are not Presley. Klaus, you are totally a mage, and I've seen you do magic.
Well, you've seen Klaus mumble to themselves in weird arcane gibberish, and then weird shit happens.
And then you feel like you're going through a Stygian gate.
I can add 2 and 2. You are not dumb. Not that dumb, anyway.
Anyway, Klaus, who is you?
Hi, I'm Drakus. I play Klaus. And they are the party medic, but also a entertainment guild person.
They're Dr. Fun!
Drug dealer.
Rock and roll doctor, you're on the air.
It's very nice when you have a built-in database of how drugs work, because you have a background as a medical synth. And yeah, it's
Works
a fun
really great
time.
for when you drug your coworkers.
Listen, I don't do it all the time, okay? At least half the time it's somebody else.
Yeah, most of the time it's you met a drug dealer, it wasn't Klaus, and then Klaus tried to help you even level out after that incident at the club.
Yeah,
With the
most
cute
of the time
satyr.
when I'm giving you drugs, it's to help you level out from something else that you've ended up on.
Oh.
Come
Is
on.
that what happened to the park, then? Is that
Oh no,
what-
that time I was
Yeah, that time I was legitimately
totally
drunk.
just you're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Meanwhile, these shenanigans inspired Petruchio to install a drug detector for when you walk in the morning at work. So Klaus had to change their whole chemical schedule around just to not set that off. And it's like, oh, fine.
I'm a little salty about it. I hold it over Priceley's head far more than I probably should. I swear I'm not that angry. It's a mild inconvenience at best.
Desktop goose. I'm seeing chat. Yes, a
Desktop
goose is stealing all of my memory. My computer memory. That's what's happening.
The
Goose.
goose? What goose?
The
goose.
goose.
The goose of
I
Grillner.
wanted to play the goose game.
Well, you can see there should still be a VOD, and we put it on the YouTube channel, and it's not a full 3 hours, so
Yes, but I want to play it. Different.
we will get to do other kinds of storytelling RP later today.
Yep.
So
The story
so
does not involve a goose.
I might have said on previous streams that we're so close to getting affiliate. Oh, I was super, super wrong about that. And I blame my ongoing spoony brain fog problems for me just completely misreading what the video editor thingy on Twitch itself was telling me. So sadly, we will not have any chat buy-in opportunities anytime soon, because I was looking forward to channel points, more not so much subscriptions, but apparently you can't have one without the other. I don't know. Oh, Twitch. But yeah. So and Priceley remembered the name of the company. All these nice individuals, all these nice individual weirdos work for something called the Carve Tourism Company, which is located. Their central offices are located in Idun System, which is in the Expanse, because this is the future. This is about at least anywhere from 6 to 10,000 years in our future, where Earth was toast. So a whole bunch of humans, as far as the humans were aware, left on a bunch of big spaceships and found a new galaxy. And that galaxy was founded about 4,000 years ago. And the Expanse was started about 2,000. So you've got the core planets, the Expanse, and the Verge, much like in Firefly. It is illegal to be a supernatural creature in the core, and now that sentiment is drifting out into the Expanse, which is a problem. But Eden System seems chill so far. And they're
Vampire's mayor.
Occasional riots.
yeah,
We got a vampire for mayor.
yep. Black Serendipitous, what the fuck is his name? I forget. Collins, that's the last name. Black Serendipity Collins III is your vampire mayor at the moment.
That's the first time I've heard the actual name, I think.
Yeah.
Who is this?
They're
Our
a
mayor.
Carthian.
I've never heard the mayor's name.
I know they're a Carthian, but that's all I got.
I heard Black Serendipity Collins
Glack.
III.
Glack with a G. They're an interesting person.
Blag?
Glack. Or
Black.
Glacks.
Okay.
Black.
I'm sorry. I mean,
And I should remember their pronouns because they're non-binary. Because yes, we're also, as far as I can tell, a post-gender society. Woohoo!
ish. Mostly.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
But yes, everything is fun in Eden City. It's nice here.
That's why we have
Supernatural.
so much goblin fruit. It's so nice here.
Yeah,
Nice
goblin fruit
stuff.
grows right out on the mortal streets. That's not weird.
Why
we
would
have
you
an
think that's
AI
weird?
for Vampire City.
That's not weird. That's awesome. Meanwhile, so
It works in the hedge.
but because the core hates supernaturals, legally by law, great, and that is starting to drift into the Expanse. The Carve Tourism company is also a front for an underground railroad, which is where our protagonists found themselves at the end of last episode helping a synth a synthetic human escape. Justice isn't the right word. Rounding up might be a better term.
From the company that made them. And
Yes.
then Presley did them dirty in the fashion department.
I did not. I dressed him in the latest fashion.
They look
That's
awesome
not
in
my fault.
neon green.
That I
Tutu.
am the Anna Wintour of the Expanse. I know what's in and what's out, okay?
Well, I don't think they appreciated the green tutu or the tights.
But luckily, you've gotten them passage to Thridden,
Either 3 or 4, I think.
a system with a technically habitable planet. It's just full of, beasts and monsters and monster hunting and safari type fun stuff.
Jungle planet whose main export is medicines.
Yep. And T Lao 5 is a medical synth. What happened is Chiron put out a warning that something called the
Alpha, I think.
I wrote this down. The alpha defect is apparently happening with all of these poor synthetics, and they haven't been super clear on what it is or what it does or what they then do to people. But also, Eden's system does not recognize slavery of other sentient life. So basically, Tilo 5's was given to Eden City as a gift from Chiron. The mayor at that time, the previous mayor, was like, we don't do slave... well, we can get you a job in emergency services, and then you'll just be your own person. Like, we have excellent mental health care in this city, so if you have any problems adjusting, like, we've got you covered. And yeah, so T-Lao 5 just started working for the emergency services as an EMT and scientist, and things were awesome. And when, the call went out that he had to be, or they had to be rounded up and given back to Chiron, their boss, the police chief, or rather the non-vampire sheriff of the city, important distinction, because the actual city sheriff is an elected position. They basically gave them 24 hours to get out of town before they had to start complying with Chiron's nonsense. So luckily, the city sheriff seemed wise to the fact that, this little tourism company maybe has some other stuff going on, and just sent their buddy there and is like, just run. Don't worry about us, we'll be fine. Just go. Yeah, because World of Darkness, even in the future, not always fair. And they almost made it. Dune found, or rolled really well on their attempt to find help, and found a fellow Wolfblood who owned a ship and had nothing better to do today, but yeah, I could go to Threaden, that's fine. And take an escapee. Yeah, it's cool, bro, let's do this.
Had a nice afternoon of drinking, followed by the evening bar fight.
Yes, the 11 p.m. bar fight at Hell.
Bar fight in Hell.
But once you got your clients to the shipyards, you started to notice you were being followed by a couple of folks in tan trench coats. And just everyone who wants to go unnoticed seems to be wearing tan trench coats these days, but...
Inspector Gadget would be sad.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking of the man in the tan jacket from Night Vale.
Oh, I still need to listen
He's
to
a
that.
fly salesman.
Or Castiel.
Oh my god.
So yeah, let's see. I will try to. I kept track of everyone's initiative in the turn order.
I completely forgot at this point.
Yeah, I wrote it all down, but I wrote it down while running combat, because otherwise, I won't know what's going on in the moment. So yay, thank you, Past Chris. I unfortunately forgot to draw it all out on a map where everyone was, so I will see what I can put together from memory.
We had
I'm
one
on the
person
ship.
on the ship, We
That's
had
me
the
and
captain.
the guy.
We had the captain, Priestley, and the escapee on the ship getting ready to
Yes.
lift. Dune was in hand-to-hand combat with the fuckers. I believe Klaus was standing off to the side, and
Like
I
Klaus
think
does.
Petruchio was chillaxing, was starting to run from the gate,
I was getting to the ship, yeah.
getting to the ship.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you'd stopped at the gate for something. I forget exactly what, but you were behind everybody else.
Yes.
Which one of you, like, I believe someone bodily picked up T-Lau and just ran? Because I know your client's on the ship. Was it
Yes.
Priestley? Okay, so Priestley's
Priestley.
also, so yeah.
Priestley maybe having an
That's me.
unscheduled trip out to Thridden.
And did I write down the name of the ship? I think it was just the old girl.
Right.
Yes, it was the
Yes.
old girl.
The old girl, because I ran out of ideas. And that's why I sometimes I am very pro player ideas, because I will run out. Oh, and T-Lau's new name is Sam. That's right.
Mhm.
So y'all set him up with a passable fake identity, and just like, and honestly, Sam's been working in like emergency services and as an EMT for years. He's like, yeah, send me to the Safari Planet. I think I could actually do pretty well there. And
I remember they were a little iffy when we first said that, and then we're like, okay, but listen, their main export is medicine. And then I was like, and if you're anything like me, you'll do very well with that.
yes, T-Lau and their new friend Klaus. The LAU model of synth. Okay. Everything's fine. Maybe we'll get to some of that later. So yeah,
I
so
still haven't outright told
hey.
anyone in the group except Petruchio, but
Thridden's second largest export is exotic narcotics, so you know.
by some strange coincidence, T-Lau has a database in their head about drugs and drug interactions. So
some
wow,
strange coincidence.
cool.
Funny how that works.
Also, one of the fun parts about the space future version of Roll of Darkness is we can just make up new galaxies whenever we feel like it, and it's my favorite part. It's like, someone give me the name of a system and tell me what it's like. We will send them there. So we had just finished round 1 of combat. And we will just stick with the same initiative because there are 8 people in the initiative. Oh, right, the captain's name is Magellan.
Yes. And his first name was
Scudder.
Scudder Magellan, yes.
Scudder Magellan.
I take notes on characters.
There you go. That's
Thank
the
you.
important part.
You.
Sam
Because
Carrera.
I don't.
I don't in this game.
Someday we might have the weirdest looking fan wiki, I swear. Anywho, so
Well, your
yes,
name's all over the place because you let me make them up.
I encourage people to make shit up because that's what makes this venue fun. Yahoo! Mix supernaturals, no masquerade, or no official masquerade, and can you imagine it? Well, then it probably exists somewhere in this new galaxy. Yay! Anywho, so the first person in initiative, ironically, was Priestley, who is one of the least combat-oriented characters I know. So Priestley, you're on the ship. Magellan and Sam are working on getting the ship moving. Because last they heard, I believe Magellan checked in, is like, so we're under attack. Do you want me to, like, wait for the rest of your party or just leave?
And we were like, lift, get out of here. We can take care of ourselves.
Go, get out. We gotta go.
Okay, so, and I believe I said at the end of round 3, the ship will be taking off. So it is the beginning of round 2. Priestley, so are you just gonna, do you want to just hold your action? There is dice.
I mean, can I be of use on the ship?
Sure, if you want to roll, Maybe I should get out my player's character sheets. Woohoo!
Oh, I should get out a dice roller. That's what I should do.
Yes.
I got my die.
I have my handful of dice.
Another one.
Woohoo!
Come on.
I know I don't like that one.
Okay, let's
Other
see.
D10.
No, this is not the one that I like. It's okay. This is what we will use. What do I need to roll?
Hold on. My computer is deciding whether or not it wants to crash now that I've opened a PDF file. I thought we were past this, Bay. Like, come on. Come on. Alright, technically, since this is a spaceship, I would allow, and it is an emergency, I would allow wits, either computers or drive. Actually, Magellan's the driver, so roll me wits computers.
Okay, so 3 and 3. Oh, okay, I do know a bit about computers.
And
Okay.
chat, we are basically
So-
using First Ed NWoD Mind's Eye Theater rules, where everyone gets to roll 1 dice and add their dots.
Right. Okay. Wow. Of course, this one is not going to work. Cool. We'll go back and use the Googles. Okay. No.
Whoa.
So, someone roll a 1.
I think you need a different dice roller. I really do.
I know. I was looking into a different one, but then the one that I was trying to use wasn't working. So then I ended up back at Google.
I'll send you a link.
So now, the ship will lift off at the end of the 4th round. Was it really a 1? Or was it just a fail?
It was a
It was a
1.
one.
It was
Yeah.
a 1. Where is the dice roller that I liked?
Okay, so that didn't work so great. But you know, you got a couple more turns to make up for it, maybe. I've added a 4th round in column. All right, so Presley has gone. So next, Dune, you are, I believe, about 12 feet away from the ship.
Found the dice roller. I think.
Now, if I remember correctly, Petruchio talked at one of the guys in trench coats and did their Von True vampire trick to just command him to go talk to the other guy in the trench coat.
Yes.
So what's really happening is one of the guys in trench coats is shooting at you and the other guy is trying to talk to the first guy because a vampire commanded him to.
I believe I'm also 12 feet away from the person who's shooting at me.
Yes, that's about. They are both still about 25 feet away because this weird thing is happening. But yes, so Dune, is there something you would like to do? Since there
I
are
already
still
kneecapped
2
one,
hots.
didn't I?
Yes, that would have been the second guy in the trench coat.
Right, the one who wasn't talking.
The one who was actually still on the mission.
Right. I'm going to close in 12 more feet and then I'm going to shoot again.
Okay.
Because I can't close into hand-to-hand combat as much as I would like to, apparently.
Alright. But, you know, you's got a gun.
Yep, I do.
Luckily, it was weapon cleaning day at the office.
Yep, I have my gun. Still not the coolest gun, but it's what I've got. I'll try and find
My
a
brain
cooler
still
gun.
likes comparing this to Leverage, and it's like, can your dog do that? And yeah.
And I'm going
Yoo-hoo!
to
Props!
roll, I'm gonna go for wits. Handguns.
Sure.
Okay.
Or what's weaponry? Or wait, oh, firearms. Duh.
Yeah,
Firearms.
firearms, specialty handguns.
Yes.
Sorry, I should have specified.
I should have remembered how I wrote my own damn game.
Okay. So that is 13 for 2 successes.
Okay. And now, bad guy.
I'll do that other next one.
Oh, I've written all this gibberish. What does it actually mean?
These my yours to the hospital, these my letters to the morgue.
Oh no.
Okay,
Oh no.
this guy got 1 success, and you said you rolled 2 or 3 successes? 2. So I say you do, and this is still on the same guy that you already kneecapped?
Yes.
Alright, so he takes another lethal.
The other guy is not shooting at me.
Nope.
That's,
He is following a vampire's orders.
shooting
And
me,
that
I
is-
shoot at you, This
yeah.
is how this goes. I capped the other knee, essentially.
So that is Dune's turn. Klaus, you are next. And I believe last game you did a magic thing
I did.
where you just sort of ping, okay, here are the spheres I have. Ping, 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 which one's ping? And you realize something interesting about these individuals is that they seem to be some form of undead, but not vampires. Because, you know what those look like. And obviously not ghosts because, well, they're there.
I wrote down, no life signs, is definitely dead, not a ghost, reanimated corpse with a spirit tied to them. In life, they were synths.
Yup. You
Did
must
not,
have done
I
real
think,
good
write
on that
down
one.
which spheres of magic pinged, if any, but
Probably.
yeah.
Well, what have you done? Death, life, matter, and spirit?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's more like, life did not ping and death did. So they're effectively reanimated matter now. It's weird.
They're synth trench coat Draugr.
Something
Bet you
like
don't see
that.
that in Skyrim.
I think Drauggr's actually a very bad thing in the Vampire Requiem book, but more kind of
Okay.
sort of, I believe a Draugr is what happens when a vampire drops to 0 humanity and then becomes an NPC because they're a rampaging monster.
Fiend.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
I'm in hardcore Norse myth mode, so Draugr in my mind is currently just corporeal ghost, more or less.
Yeah, and that's fair since Idun's system was very clearly founded by space Vikings.
Yeah.
Anywho, so Klaus, what do you want to do this round?
I had 2 weeks to think about it, and I did not.
Yeah. Sorry, I just looked up in the vampire book.
I'm trying to decide if there's a way I can use, like, my death magic to sort of disrupt whatever death magic created these things.
I mean, that's assuming they were created with magic, which you would assume
Yeah.
is what's going on, but Chiron is weird like that, which is one of the many reasons nobody likes them.
Maybe I would be better served, but because I could try to, like, take them down with, drugs the way I do sometimes, but I'm not sure drugs would do anything to them. They're dead.
I mean, that said, that
There's the implication that you need, like, some bloodstream metabolism something going on for drugs to have any effect.
yeah, and you're not convinced they have that.
I'm not.
Well,
so, but you've used death magic on, like, rock monsters in the hedge before, so why not? You could try this a similar thing on creatures made of flesh, just not alive.
I'm not a death mage kind of person, so I don't know. how death magic works, but if you could like increase the entropy of the people so they become people soup, as people do, really quickly, that would be, a thing.
So,
I think that's within
yeah.
the wheelhouse of death magic.
Basically in Old World of Darkness, Fate and Death were both in the entropy sphere, and then in the new system they split them in half. But yeah, you can basically still do that with death magic.
Yeah, I mean, I have a dot in Fate as well if
Yes.
that weren't necessary. So yeah, I like this idea of
Necrosis.
yeah, altering the state of decay of these bodies.
Yep, you
They're
can
just
definitely
flesh
control.
bags.
Yep. You can definitely have control over decay as a Moros.
So
I mean, a vanilla human that used to be an EMT. And
just
like
a vanilla human.
I'm just a human. This is not the mage you're looking for. Nor am I a lich.
I'm
Nope.
not a synth. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anywho.
Never have been.
Lich, please.
Lich, please. Anywho. So add a dot to your pool for every sphere you're using, and an additional dot if you're using Fate, so an additional +1 for using Fate. You're still not sure why, but this seems to happen when you're in Eden City casting spells. Yeah, no?
Okay.
I'm sure that's fine, though. It would explain why there are so many fucking acanthus.
Yeah. So just add dots for the spheres that I'm using, correct?
Yes, add dots.
D10, add for probably death, fate, and wood matter count.
Yeah, I would allow you to count
I'm
matter.
Directly messing with the flesh bag.
Indeed. And since they are not alive, they count as matter.
Hello, please. Thank you.
Living challenge.
I'm gonna go for the one that's not trying to talk to the other one, because that one has its own mind thing going on.
Like, Petruchia took care of that. It's fun.
So,
Alright, so you add your sphere dots, and then a +1 for fate, and then a +1 for whatever ritual thingamajig you're using as a tool to make your magic stuff happen. So your yantra.
I am muttering gibberish. I'm pretending that it makes sense.
So add another one for that.
So I am at 11, so 2 successes.
Okay, they don't really get to defend for that, so we'll say you do 2 more lethal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And as you do it, you kind of see that part of their face is actually starting to, like, corrode and rot away. When it was against the stone giant, it did something similar, and that was sort of like cracks forming and things falling apart. This looks more like you have sped up the rot process. He is still moving, but ew. And you can see definitely plugins and cybernetics now exposed under the flesh bagginess as it starts to liquefy. And knowing what you do about synths, for whatever reason, biological and plugins are meant to work symbiotically, and this is probably going to stop some of their systems from working, because that's how that works. So yeah, they are very rough. Who definitely did some damage. They are still. So this is Trenchcoat 2, I wrote in my notes. He is still gonna try and shoot Dune. But we'll see.
Emphasis on try.
So he fails. He doesn't ace it, But he rolled a 2, and he's got ridiculous penalties, and half of his body is kind of starting to rot away. So basically aims for Dune and hits the ground. So, whoops. So you're done, NPC. Next, Petruchio. I believe you were in the cockpit, trying to help Magellan.
Yes. Alright, so, does anybody have, anybody know how to fly this thing, or am I gonna have that?
Say that again? Sorry.
Does anybody know how to fly this thing, or am I gonna have to have it?
Well, yeah, the captain knows how to fly their own ship.
Fair.
Oh, perfect. Alright, yeah, good.
So, do you want to hold your action? Or do you want to... Is there something you want to do? Do you want to leave the ship? Because there are now more people on the ship trying to help get it to take off. Although someone did something earlier in the second round, and now it seems to have slowed down a little bit. Whoops. So, you know,
you know what?
old
I think
ships.
I need some help with that, so, you know.
I don't know what I'm doing with the computers. I'm trying, okay?
Alright.
We gotta get this thing off the ground. We gotta go now.
Alright, you know what? You let me take care of this. You've done all you can. I appreciate your work. Let me see what I can do with that.
Okay, I'm gonna sit with this guy. Okay.
Well, Sam is also working on flipping switches and doing calculations and stuff.
Okay, well, apparently everyone is just really good at this stuff. Great. Fantastic.
mean,
Petruchio, what are you doing?
he's a fighter. I don't know what else to do.
Petruchio. Thus are you doing? So what is your action, unless you want to hold it?
You know what? It kind of looks like everybody else has got it, so I'll hold it.
Okay. So I'll tell you when the end of the round is, so you can decide what you want to do. Okay, so hold. And now we are at Trench Coat 1. We'll see if he figures out if he is able to maybe break, because there's a lot going on, and give him a chance to shake off the... Dune, you can see the guy that is trying to talk to the seriously fucked up wounded guy is kind of you see, like, kind of blinking really hard, like trying to blink away some fog.
Mm-hmm.
They still don't seem to be taking an action this round, but they're kind of like blink, blink, blink. Sam is going to help lift the ship, and so is Magellan. Oh, and we are... Sorry, Petruchio, you went right before 3 NPCs that I'm just saying are doing so. Okay, we'll just roll for them. Alright, so, and then... Alright, so between the two of them, they seem to at least still be on schedule for the end of the 4th round. So, Petruchio, do you want to maybe roll computers to see if you roll high enough, you can maybe negate the one that happened earlier this round?
Yeah, I should try.
Yeah, you know.
What's your computers?
Very high.
A lot.
Really good.
So is the computer vampire?
3 plus what?
3.
Yeah, you gotta have your computer sheet up, babe. We're getting there.
We're in there.
We're finding the sheet.
It should be in resources.
Yeah, that's the wrong sheet. That's your backstory.
There you go.
Okay. Computers is a 4, so that's a 7.
I know, but you also had an attribute, so in this case, I would say wits. So that's 3 for wits, 4 for computers, plus 3. So that's a 10.
For one success.
Okay, so you got 1 success. So you're definitely helping. So yeah, you're helping, but not quite as spectacular enough to.
It's because Petruchio is trying to keep Pricely from messing with the computers anymore. They've got, one hand on Pricely's hands and one hand actually doing the typing stuff.
Like, I'm good, I got it,
no.
worry about it.
Okay, so now we're at the top of the 3rd round. So Pricely, it's your turn again. What would you like to do?
Okay, I'm just gonna let you do this. Okay. I'm gonna, step back.
I
Wait
mean,
for the
if you
thing.
don't want to take an unplanned trip to Thridon, I'd get off the ship, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, if we're splitting, we're gonna be splitting the party either way, so it would probably be better with 2 people.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That way, the boss isn't all by themselves.
Yeah, I gotta make sure that they get to their destination.
I know. I'm stepping back.
Pricely,
I
do you
trust you.
Pricely, do you want to hold your action in case you
Yes,
think of something later? Okay.
Which means it's my turn.
Yes, it's Dune's turn, and Dune has a handgun.
Yes, but Dune is also within walking distance of the 2 assholes now, so Dune's gonna run up, grab the guy who's doing the talking, and hit the other guy with him. I'm gonna hit a dude with another dude.
Yeah.
Using improvised weapons. So I'm going to use strength improvised weaponry, and I'm going to hit a dude with another dude.
First, okay, first you have to, I will allow this, or no, because first you have to grapple the first dude.
Okay, so straight strength for that, and then strength with improvised weapons to hit the other guy?
Well, that might have to wait until next turn, because you're grappling,
Okay.
so...
In that case, I will do strength brawling to grapple the guy.
Okay.
Yeah, strength brawl to grapple the dude, and put him between me and the other guy, so that if the other guy tries to take another shot, he has to choose buddy first.
Okay.
So that's a 10. And that's a 9 for a 19 plus 8 7.
Okay, and this guy got 2. So you got what? You said a 27?
Yes.
So that's...
Plus 8. Wait, no.
So that's 7 successes.
9 is 28, actually. Sorry.
28?
I can count. I had 5 dots in strength and not 4 like I thought.
Okay, so that's still 7 successes. Over the other guy's 2. So I will allow that you do a whole bunch of bashing to this guy in while you are grappling him.
Yeah, his head might accidentally meet the pavement. Just, it's a thing that happens, you know?
Yeah.
Accidentally, yeah.
So much bashing. Alright. So next, Klaus, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna try that same thing again on someone else, because it worked really well last time.
Okay.
Which one appears to be causing the most trouble for Dune at the moment?
Well, the first guy might be waking up from whatever it was Petruchio put on them.
Okay.
But is also now grappled, but he is actively trying to get out of the grapple. The second one, the second one does have a gun, but you can tell by the fact that his body is starting to fall apart that he is not going to be very good at using it.
Yeah, I'll target the one that Dune is trying to throw. because then he'll be putting up less of a fight.
Okay.
It's gonna be a 9, I think.
Okay.
I rolled 2 less than last time, and I got 11 last time, so it should be 9 this time.
Okay, so
That's
that's...
how math works.
Yeah. So that's still one success.
Yeah.
So, again, you start to see a little bit of the rot on whatever skin he has open. It's not moving as quickly as the other guy.
I can smell it happening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dune,
you can. As I'm doing it, I'm gonna like finish up the gibberish and be like, "Sorry for the smell."
I've smelled worse, but not often. I suppose I'll just have to wash my coat later.
And Trenchcoat 2 goes now, and we'll try and shoot Dune again.
Dune has cover bonuses because of his buddy.
Okay, so, yeah. I'd say that's a +5 cover since you did so well on your roll. So yeah, so this guy rolled... somehow, despite all the... Well, it's because you're right next to him. Rolled a 28. However, so you roll a dex plus dodge +5 cover.
Since I'm in close combat, I'm going to use Brawl to dodge. Dex
Okay.
plus Brawl. Because there's nothing labeled dodge, so I'm like, okay. So, Dex plus Brawl plus 5 plus whatever I roll. Let's do this. So...
Suddenly, my NPCs decided to start rolling 10s, and I'm like, what? Seriously? Oh, wait, no. So he only rolled a 20. Because he had... That's right, I forgot to subtract all of the damage. So...
I rolled a 9, and with Dex plus Brawl is 6 plus 5 is 11, so that's a 20. That's a 20.
And ties go to Defender. So this time he almost does shoot you. But I will say instead it kind of it kind of hits his buddy a little bit. Since you were using him as cover. So now that guy has more damage on him. Good job, NPCs.
We are here for this.
Meat shields! Yay! Next, Patricio. What do you want to do?
So, let's see, where are we at with the getting ship off the ground? We good to go yet? Or?
No. You thought at first watching that they were gonna lift off at the end of the 3rd round. Now it looks like we'll be lifting off at the end of the 4th round, unless someone wants to get a staggering number of successes on a computer's roll.
I mean, I can keep trying to hacking.
Okay, yeah.
So, roll again. All right.
6 plus 7.
13. 2 successes.
13, okay.
Okay. So...
If I held my action too, right?
You did hold your action. So we're not...
Is there anything that I can do if you like? Can I get an assist from someone? With that up, if I'm like following directions.
Let me take a look at your character sheet real quick. So what I allow people to do, because I did the not very smart thing of now we're using 2nd edition NWoD with 1st edition NWoD LARP rules, is that people can just use merit dots to add to their rolls. So, Pricely has 3 dots of contacts in transportation companies. So I would allow you to add that to a roll. Usually it's 1 at a time, but today's going to be a slightly different game, so I'm kind of like, smoke him if you got him.
Okay, so that's plus 6 that I have now.
Yes. Well, so you also add an attribute. So if it's wits, it would be
so it's
wits plus
9.
computers.
Okay,
Yeah.
so just don't. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so what do I need to do?
Alright, you know what? There's some buttons over there. Should be pretty self-explanatory.
6 plus 9. Nice.
Okay. So once again, don't roll a 1.
Okay.
Don't botch.
Okay. So okay. So this is good.
Yes. So viewers, yes, you will notice that if successes start at 8, Pricely is already starting with 1 success, so long as they don't roll a 1, which is a botch.
Okay.
And
I got
then
15.
the fickle finger of fate rests with the GM and is fun and evil.
Yep.
Yay. I'm not super antagonistic, but I have my moments. I'm more of a don't go for the kill when you can go for the pain. Like, killing characters isn't fun. Driving the players absolutely like, what the fuck is happening? That's fun.
I don't blame you for this.
Yeah.
Psychological torture is my jam.
I do the same thing as a DM.
Wait. In the words of
Okay.
D'Hoffryn. Alright.
Okay, so I get it, right?
So, did you roll the dice?
Yeah, I got a 15.
Okay, 15 altogether. That is 3 successes. So,
Woohoo.
How are things looking?
okay, things look a lot better. So let's just see. So first, Trenchcoat 1 gets to go. So all Trenchcoat 1 is going to do is try and just get the fuck out of this grapple. And that's all they really can do. So, roll, bro, roll. So
Is it an opposed roll?
yes. So, it's going to roll... let's just use it.
Oh, you can upgrade his strength?
It's going to be rolling strength... Or no, it's going to be rolling dex and brawl.
I'll oppose with strength and brawl. Because I already got him.
Oh yeah. So so he rolled a 14. What did you roll?
I rolled a 10.
Oh.
I rolled a 17 plus 9.
Hey.
I rolled a 26.
Wait, for this one? Oh,
Huh?
you rolled a 10. So yeah, and you
I rolled a 10.
and you can
I-
re-roll your 10s to add more. So
I aced the die, and so I rolled again, and it was a 7. So 17 plus 9, because it's 5 strength and 4 brawl, is 26.
okay, so
Yay.
they fail. They're not doing badly. Clearly they've had some training, but they're not
But
getting
don't
out
break
of
the
this.
bear hug.
Whoever this is, their blood is not of the wolf, clearly. Or
That-
wasn't
and-
before they were dead?
And they haven't had 87 years worth of experience in, roughhousing.
Yeah. I mean, you can program your undead cyborgs all you want, but it's really the hands-on experience that's what's important.
I
And now,
clearly never been to any of the scheduled rolls at Hell. They wouldn't last a minute in them.
I'm just gonna have Sam and Magellan roll together. Ooh, Magellan rolled a 10.
Nice.
So, 16, so... Alright, I will say that... now with everyone kind of working more in tandem and Magellan having a very nice roll, the ship gets to lift off at the end of round 3 after all. So who exactly is on the ship? I know Dune is not.
I am not.
Klaus is not. So Petruchio and Presley. The ship starts lifting off, and this is kind of an older ship. So the gangplank was open and the door was open. It's still open, but the ship is lifting off, and you see the ship doors are starting to close now that it's like, usually you would think that don't those have to be closed before the ship can take off, but you know, when you're Millennium Falconing it, you get to do things your own way. And it's like, you know,
Some safety features were only included after a certain year for ships, you know?
and you know, such things can be disengaged to the humor of the captain, especially
Look,
when you're freelance.
I'm a talker.
Y'all are lifting off. You are, I will allow you to declare fair escape. We are, however, at the top of the 4th round, and Dune is still in grapple combat with 2 mooks. However, you can hear emergency service sirens heading into the shipyard. Somewhat faster than they did that during that time you were fighting rock monsters, but that time you were on the edge. And yet there are still cops in the hedge, because this is Eden City. So, yeah, so I'll keep you in the lineup. But yeah, so Presley, you can fair escape if you want, or is there something you would like to do to try and help your compatriots?
Go! I've got this. They'll not be
Like,
escaping me tonight.
This is World of Darkness, but it's also being run by a GM who does
I feel like
improv.
we should probably be on the ship to help with the checkpoint.
Okay, so you just want to help with the ship stuff?
Well, getting through checkpoint.
Okay, you're not really at checkpoints. You're just at this point high enough off the ground that no mook can grapple you
I'm
back down.
staying on the ship and going with it to Thridden.
Just in case.
Because we do have an LAU unit. Who
Okay.
Of
is-
that interest, let's say.
Yeah.
Sam.
And I have the socials to make sure that Sam is safe. We just hitch a ride back with Magellan. We got resources.
Magellan is trustworthy.
You seem
I feel like
trustworthy.
one combat person and one talkie person will
Okay.
help.
We'll just say
I know
you're
that's split the party, but
we'll just say you're gonna hold your action in case you think of something later. Dune.
Okay.
So the second guy, while he's hurting a lot, doesn't seem to have any problem shooting you through his own guy or trying to. So, what do you want to do the thing you wanted to do last turn? Okay.
Yes. I'm gonna hit a dude with another dude. If I'm strong enough to throw a dude into the bar wall, I'm strong enough to hit a dude with another dude.
Okay.
oh my god.
Do it.
I'm going strength improvised weaponry.
Yes, this counts.
All right. So, 8 and 9 is 17.
Okay, so you said 17?
Yes.
Trenchcoat 2 rolled an 8 with all of his problems. So,
He's about to have a couple more.
yep. So even though this technically only would do bashing to a regular person, it definitely looks like this guy's starting to come into the ag counter. Actually, and I'll say you 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and so yeah, by hitting one dude with the other dude, you kind of smack them both up, and like the one with the active shooter is definitely just starting to just like disintegrate.
Liquefy.
Yeah, it is gross as fuck.
It does not smell nice.
Does not smell nice.
It splatters when I hit him.
And those trench coats look dry clean only. So so
The
Dune.
whole lot dry cleaned. It's just
All right.
beyond
Klaus, is there anything you would like to do?
Not particularly at this moment.
Okay, so we'll just say you can hold your
Yeah,
action.
I'll
And
hold my action until there's something possibly more obvious for me to do.
okay.
Klaus, roll me dry cleaning for this.
Trench coat.
Okay, got it.
Trench coat 2. Shoots and misses. Because it's just like his arm is starting to fall off. Like, what the fuck? Like, you see things sparking where there shouldn't be spark. Well, I mean, we're in an age of cyborgs anyway, but it's like, wow, this is fucked up. And you're definitely, you can, Dune, being so close up, you definitely see the interplay of the technological and the biological and how it's just all dissolving in a really, as gross as way as possible, dear gods.
Hey.
Damned mages.
So, Petruchio, is there anything you would like to do, or just hold your action, or just help the ship? Yeah. Okay, so Trenchcoat 1 will try and extricate themselves from the grapple, but they also are having some problems. And nope, they don't make it. Yeah, they didn't. He rolled a 2, not a 1. If he'd rolled a 1, I would have said, oh, more decay, but no. He does not injure himself trying to get out of the grapple, but he is unable to get out of the grapple. So that's that NPC. And Sam and Magellan are just going to keep flying the ship. So we'll say at the top, Pricely, Dune, and Petruchio, is there anything you would like to do before the cops show up? They will not be attempting to apprehend the ship that is taking off.
Well, we're on the ship.
Yeah, you're on the ship.
It was Klaus and...
Oh, sorry, Pricely, Klaus, and Petruchio. Is there anything...
I definitely hit a dude with another dude.
Well, you didn't hold your action. So is there anything any of you would like to do in the situation before the cops show up?
No, we're on the ship, so the ship is good.
Well, I mean, if you want to go by Millennial Falcon standards, like, what does a ship have?
Should we use the cannon?
Shipboard lasers for people I am in close combat with.
Oh, well, there is that. I mean, if they rolled high enough.
Yeah, I don't think that would be smart. It's not like we're hitting ships at this point. Like, we can't do that.
Oh, okay, that's fine. All right, so Klaus, is there anything you would like to do as you are on the ground and the police are heading straight for you? But the emergency services in the system are not all bastards, so you will probably
live in fear of the police in Eden's system because it's a relatively idealized society.
Yeah, relatively, yes.
And the emergency services do their job as emergency services.
You will likely be taken into custody, but like once they ask you questions and check it with the CCTV feed, they're like, oh, this person was clearly defending themselves. So, but yeah. I mean, if you want to maybe not go into custody, like, Dune is kind of
I would like
stuck.
to not at the moment, just given the fact that they are more or less complying with Chiron at the moment. They gave Sam the chance to run, but they may not give me that opportunity if they find out who I am.
Good point. So, let's see. Let me look at your sheet, and let's see what you can roll.
I have a pretty high stealth.
Mm-hmm.
You also have fate, so, like, if you want to change the probability of them actually noticing you to 0...
Level 1 fate doesn't really allow for that.
It's mostly like observing
Yeah, it's
at level
yeah.
1.
Level 1 is just like speak and spell, like analyze and sense.
Okay,
I have an awareness of these things.
Yeah,
so not mathematic yet.
not
No.
yet. All right, but yeah, you've got a pretty good stealth. So, physical stealth would be Dex. Are there any merits you would like to add? If you could justify it, and so like in Demon Hunters, if you could justify it to me enough, you know.
I have safe place, which seems like a hide from people kind of deal.
Oh, you have the shared merit part of on the carve document. Yay!
Yeah.
Someone is looking at that thing I made. Yay! I would allow that. It basically means you know the fastest way to get from where you are. I would say that gives you an edge on just getting here, so long as you are going straight back to the office.
Yeah.
So I would allow plus bonuses for that.
I'm not sure that I necessarily have anything else on there that would help that out.
I mean, you've got black market allies
I do.
and club contacts. Oh wait, you do have the safe. Oh, the safe place merit. So yeah, you do have. That would probably be your apartment. There is also safe place on the communal company sheet, which y'all can also draw from. I was staring right at this 30 seconds ago. I don't know why I didn't see it, but brain fog problems. This is also why I thought we were so close to affiliate. My brain.
Yes, I think I'll use the safe place from the shared merits because I would want to regroup with everybody back at the office later,
Okay.
and Dune's weapon stash is there.
And it's all clean and oiled and perfect right now, yeah.
To bring back the paranoia from last session, have I ever told you how grateful I am that you have all these weapons here? Because I'm grateful for all these weapons here.
Can't do it. Holding this dude is trying to wriggle out.
No! No! Like, yeah.
No.
Dune is busy. Dune is also a member of the Mercs Guild, so that's helpful. When getting picked up by the cops, even, the nice cops. So yeah, Klaus, make me a roll to stealth your way out of this situation before the cops can pick you up. Because you are, in a field full of ships.
Yeah, there are plenty of places to just slip away.
You probably know some party ships that are landed for now, and because those count as clubs, you probably know some black market ships that you could just yep. What did you roll?
I'm at 13, so 2 successes.
Okay, so the cops are a little too preoccupied by Dune hitting one animated rotting corpse with another animated rotting corpse.
I only did it once because it splattered, and I don't want to do that again because now I stink too.
Hey, we successfully created a diversion that we didn't know we needed.
Meanwhile, the ship just happens to be taking off, and Magellan had already cleared it with the shipyard, so it's like, so it's just a dude and 2 corpses fighting in the shipyard.
When I get a reasonably safe distance away, I'll message the rest of the group and be like, headed back to the office. Don't want to deal with emergency services and the like at the moment.
And now I'm gonna roll a d4. Luckily, at least one of these cops knows Dune because this cop is a known wolf, is a part of the, wolf blood mafia. And as the cops are all kind of training, stun weapons on these people, he's like, no, it's cool, Dune, what's going on?
I don't know. All I know is that we had a customer, and these people tried to shoot them. So I shot them first, and then they tried to shoot at me. And I pointed the skid mark of the one bullet that just grazed me, and they did it too. And
So
I decided to try and pacify them best I knew how.
by punch.
And I've got I don't know what happened to the other one. It splattered a little bit. I wouldn't get too close. It doesn't smell good.
So
But,
while you were starting to talk to the police and you're wrestling this one guy who isn't really putting up much of a fight at this point, the other guy tried to run away and then like his leg buckled because he forgot that someone happened to shoot one of his kneecaps and the other one seems to be rotting and falling apart.
I shot both his kneecaps. I'll put that out there.
Oh, you shot both his kneecaps? Okay, then yeah, he tries to run away and doesn't get very far. But that's enough for the cops to for one of the cops to kind of break away and use a stun shot for the guy that's running away, which, well, he's out or maybe dead. You're not sure. It's weird.
I aimed non-lethally, even when they were trying to kill me.
All right. So yeah, the wolf-blooded. What's a good
If my name's Dune, then his is
hers. We'll say hers.
Macklin. McClin.
Okay, so Macklin, so, alright, we're going to have to ask you to come for questioning, but obviously, I mean, you're a merc, I can speak for you, I mean, it looks like a matter of self-defense. Also, what the fuck are these guys?
I don't
know. What even is that? I've met vampires. That's not a vampire. Vampires don't do that.
No,
Yikes.
I don't know. They're some kind of enhanced. I saw wires on the other one when I beat him about the head and neck with his friend a little bit. But I don't say what they were or what they weren't. I don't know they have a heartbeat. I didn't hear one when I closed the distance, but I don't know what kind of thing doesn't have a heartbeat besides the vampire, and these are clearly not them. If these were vampires, then their sire would be in the soup with the vampire court. And you know it.
I would say Dune knows at least that much about vampires. Is they have a more strict hierarchy than werewolves even do.
I honestly meant more the court of justice than any kind of, caste system or whatever. I didn't read that book. Sorry.
Right. Did Klaus, did you mention to your compatriots that these guys were dead?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, then that's fine. Then McClin accepts this premise and just asks you politely to come. If you'll come with us, like, we're not going to cuff you. I guess we'll cuff these guys. I'm not sure if they're still alive. Are they still alive? And one guy's like, no.
Would you do me a favor first? I know you keep crowd suppressant gear on your emergency vehicles. If you could hose me down before we have to go anywhere, I'd be much appreciative.
Oh, no problem. That's fine. All right. Lady, get the hose. I was like,
Merc, just remember that turning these guys into jelly was your idea.
Oh. And my character's gonna suffer for it, but my character's gonna make you suffer for it too.
Undead enemies. Okay. Actually, what they do is they've got like a short hose that someone brings out, and they just like hook it up to the hydrant that's like at the edge of the space spaceport, and spaceport security is, you know, like, okay, it's cool. Like, they didn't blow up any ships, and it's like,
I mean,
there was a
have to use the
firefight.
hose to clean off the stain anyway, because the rotting guy definitely left some of himself behind.
Yeah, right now, they're, so what's happening is, like, they've cuffed them, but they're also technically dead. So they've also, so then they call in the EMTs to bring stretchers?
Body bags.
Body bags? And you can, so I would say you know enough about how emergency services work that, they're basically closing it up like a body bag, but there's a tag for possible undead. So basically a of dead asterisk. You know, there's a separate one for vampire when it's clearly a vamp, but if it was a vampire, they wouldn't be closing them up in a body bag, necessarily. No. So it's like, dead question mark? So yeah, but there are armed guards going into the ambulance, and also one of the other dead guy is still struggling, so he's just cuffed, but he's starting to fall apart, so they're like, okay, we'll strap him to the stretcher? This is weird. The EMTs are clearly weirded out. Yeah, it's not a shit show, but everyone's like, wow, this is weird. And we live in a weird system.
I'm surprised Macklin didn't ask for me to be hosed down because she's a wolf blood too, and she can smell this.
Well, she certainly didn't disagree with your assessment. So I was like, yeah, just hose him down. It's fine. Yeah, and there's like another wolf blood that's an EMT. It's like, I've seen some shit, but this okay. 2 dead cyborgs, 1.5 dead cyborgs. I don't know. Okay. And that guy's also. Yep. Yeah, so they are just loading the guys into the EMT. So because it's all the emergency services, like cops and EMTs kind of overlap.
Mm-hmm.
But it also helps, you know, they actually carry non-lethal riot gear and similar. Because this is the future, and I can make it as nice as I want. Within reason of still torturing my players.
I still don't want to deal with them right now.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Nothing against them personally.
Yeah.
Besides, the longer I stall them here, the
It's
more time.
mostly about Chiron. Fuck Chiron.
Yeah, those assholes. Anywho, so yeah, they basically just take you into questioning, real quick, and because, you know, McLean is seems to be the sergeant in charge of this, you know, outing. She basically just questions you first and is just like, so what the hell happened?
Got me. You know, I've never seen these people before in my life or anything like them. And I've been at this a long time.
Okay, I have to ask you, why were you at the spaceport this evening when you were attacked?
I was having a good evening with my I think he was my cousin actually. Cousin Scott Magellan. We ended up going back to his ship after the nightly bar fight it held.
Alright.
Having a good time with cousins.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to roll, because it is her job. So I need you to roll, let's say composure subterfuge. No, you're a manipulation subterfuge.
Oh man.
Oh jeez. Sorry, bro.
That's rough. That is 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 for 2 successes.
Okay. Luckily for you, she only got a 9. So she accepts this because this sounds like a Dune thing to say. Who knows what would have happened if she thought he was lying to her? Because on one hand, cop, on the other hand, wolf blood mafia. So, but yeah, she's...
She probably
There
knows
comes a
that
point where you gotta say, like, we all have our secrets, you know?
Or
True,
just the
more than
kind of,
most.
yeah, bar fight.
Yeah,
But,
bar
yeah,
fight.
so, but
Yeah.
she believes it because she also recognizes Scudder Magellan's name and is like, alright, so... Was that his ship that took off?
Aye, was his
Oh.
ship. He was
Hmm.
scheduled to leave around midnight, which is why we had to cut the bar fight a bit shorter than we would have liked.
Hmm. Well, I will have to question him the next time he's in the system, but I mean, you know.
He should be coming back fairly shortly. He only said it was a short jaunt out to the verge.
Alright. Well, we'll... And she's, just writing things down.
Yep. I would like to note that Dune has not told one lie this entire time.
Nope. But he is
He has
withholding the
not.
truth. And
A
she
little
is
bit
a
of it.
professional person, supposedly, who can suss out when people are lying to her. Because, But apparently not super good at it tonight because she rolled super low.
Or she just trusts Dune.
Yeah. Wolf Blood Mafia. Oh, yeah.
And I mean, she doesn't need to. The rest of it's not that important,
Yeah, they're more kind of weirded out. Like, she's like, well, that's all the questions I had. Our science division is still taking a look at the walking corpses that we brought in with you. Yeah.
You don't tend to get them that much over here. The gauntlet's too high for random spirits to be coming and getting corpses out of the graveyard, so I don't know where they came from or where they were enhanced.
No, I know. Once in a while, a spirit will possess a corpse, but yeah, that doesn't happen around here. The gauntlet's too high, and I
And
mean,
my auntie would have it before anything else.
if you don't mind me saying, under the table, and she kind of flips a switch on the table. She's like, maybe tell your auntie to keep an eye out for the lake. Like,
I will.
we'll look into it, but this is very straight. They're clearly not vampires or any kind of undead we are aware of. So
I think they might have been imports.
in what?
Imports from out of system.
Possibly. I mean, they could be undead ridden from elsewhere, but ask your auntie to keep an eye out, I guess, because this is very strange. And
I'll let
obviously
her
not
know.
natural. But whether it's scientific or spiritual, we've still got people studying it. Yikes.
Aye.
And she flips it back on, and then she's like, oh, what was that? Alright, copy. The one that failed to run away, melted. So they're trying to study if that was just dead from its wounds, or, maybe some kind of suicide pill for the already dead. But, so you don't have to worry about retaliation.
I appreciate it. Though I don't think they offer much of a fight.
Yes, I'm not really sure what's going to happen here. I mean, if it's arresting a vampire, it's, due process, they're a sentient being. But we don't know what these are, but if they pass the test of sentience, then we technically can't hold... Well, I mean, we can hold them as long as, assault and battery holds. But this is weird. We are welcome to Eden.
I will say I sort of heard one of them talking, but I've also heard a parrot do the same thing, so I don't know that it's any indication of how intelligent they were.
Yes, it's... Well, welcome to Eden.
Aye.
It certainly keeps us on our toes.
Aye.
Anyway, I'll contact you if we need anything else, but, it seems like it's just a straightforward assault and battery case, except that you were attacked by two corpses that weren't vampires. Who aren't really corpses, they're vampires.
They get offended when you call them that.
Yeah, a kindred! That's the polite term. Kindred!
Oh yes, got to be polite to the vampires.
Yes.
Uh, I don't suppose they were in a system for anything else, like any deceased criminals or whatever don't match their.
We'll
I don't.
do. We'll figure out what we can. I mean, it's possible. I mean, between oh fuck, they know who we are here. I don't think
I,
I'm betraying anything by saying. I mean, you could have just been in the wrong place at the wrong time.
maybe
I mean,
second opportunity.
you're a member of the Mercs Union. I mean, there
They
are
did.
people who don't like you in this galaxy.
This is a fair and just point. But
So
if they was picked me at random, they picked the wrong person.
it doesn't. They seem very specialized individuals to be attacking people at random. But I
Aye.
mean, anything's possible. But I would say, watch your back. Don't
I
hesitate to
will.
call me if anyone else attacks you in this who happens to be a walking corpse.
You'll be the first one I call if it happens.
Thanks, and she
Or
just like
when it happens.
shakes your hand and is like, "All right then. I'll see you when I see you. Hopefully, it's for good news."
Aye. I'll see you.
And yeah, and they just let you out of the. You're in the system. They know where you work. They
Yep.
know where you live because
I've
this
worked with them
is.
before. I was the point of contact for
Yeah,
the missing persons case, and I believe I also was in the station for the vampire thing.
yeah, you were. Yeah, you were noted as being part of that thing where that maquette vampire suddenly frenzied at Saga. So
Yep.
yeah. But you're also in good standing with the Mercs Union, so it's like that's not that weird. It's like
Yeah.
this guy keeps popping up on our radar. It's like, yeah, he's a Merc who works for a tourist agency, but we assume that they send people to dangerous places. Who does? Well, Mercs also the Merc Union. Well, obviously it does bounties and like U.S. Marshal type. Well, they're basically like U.S. Marshals, where they can do bounty hunting or security or fill in security expert in a pinch, thanks to the favor system. Anyway, it is now about 8:30. So now we get to use our save screen, so I can also just take a break. Doesn't seem like much is going on in chat, so all right, friends, do we want to take our 10-minute break,
Yeah.
and then we will go into that exercise we wanted to try out for the rest of the session.
Cool beans.
Cool beans. All right, so chat, we're going to change modes for a bit, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Whoops. Hello, Internet. We are back. Can someone double check the stream to make sure I can be heard again? Because that was a problem last time.
Yep.
Alright, so if you've been watching this stream for a while or went back and watched the YouTube videos, you'll know that we've had a few recastings over the... Yay! People can hear me! Please feel free to tell us in chat if there are any audio problems, because I can actually see y'all now, I just can't see our private chat anymore. So, but if you've been watching Exit to Eden for a while, you will have noticed that we did not have a session 0. And we've had several recastings since we started in June?
May sounds right.
May?
Yeah.
I think it was right after my birthday, so yeah, probably May. So we are going to try and have a flashback session 0. So we'll be going till 10, or at least till a few minutes before 10. And yes, I was hoping the Decuma PDF would have been out by now because I kickstarted it and it just isn't. But Merc found me the Savage Worlds interlude system. So I've got a pack of these and I've got a pack of these. And we are gonna see where we go with this. So, Petruchio, you are the boss. When Petruchio was played by Pam, we ran through the scene at the very beginning of the first episode where Petruchio was dragged in front of the prince of the city from that whole escapade of hiding from them because they thought they were implicated in a plot to take down the prince, which Petruchio didn't actually have a hand in, but their sire did. So we did run a scene about that, but that was 2 Petruchios ago. Or 3. I don't know.
I think it's only 2.
Only 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's not that we're running through Petruchios, it's that they're all just body doubles of Petruchio, and the one true Petruchio is still hiding
Yeah.
Yeah.
behind all
Yeah.
the body doubles.
Hashtag Von True Life. Woohoo! Alright, so I have seen Powered by the Apocalypse do
The web.
the web, I guess that's what it's called, the string web.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we will start with Petruchio. I believe after that, Dune is the next oldest person in the organization. So, let me pull some cards. Tarot for everyone!
I have the Night Veil Tarot deck.
Oh, that's cool.
They're very cool.
Alright, so...
I have been frequently thinking about the card with the faceless old woman who secretly lives in your home.
Does it have the man in the tan jacket in there?
I don't think so, but maybe.
Okay, so, Petruchio and Dune. Neither of you is particularly emotionally available as personalities go, unless, you know, Petruchio, you can play it differently than previous because identity is very fluid. So, starting out with you two, describe to me a particularly difficult obstacle the two of you had to work together to get over in terms of being whether a legit travel agency or an underground railroad. What was the first time y'all really had to work together to get a very difficult obstacle just surmounted or obliterated or out of the way. How long ago was it? What was there a client involved? Was it business related? Like, was there an evil goose?
I mean, no, the paperwork was brutal. Look all legitimate, like, you know.
Well, I wouldn't know about the paperwork, but I do know about the men who came to collect it, or who claimed they were coming to collect it. They were not, as you would say, a particularly friendly bunch. They said they were from the vampires, but they didn't smell like vampires, and Petruchio didn't know them. So, this was before I kept my collection of guns at the office. At least the collection of guns that I do keep at the office. So I just had a sidearm and a knife I happened to have borrowed the previous night from its previous owner. Uh, Turns out people are still dumb enough to try and mug a wolf blood. But anyway, so I had 3 goons in the front office while Petruchio was trying to get our charter filed with the city so that we could legitimately practice business here as we were instructed to do. Well, as they were instructed to do, and I was contracted to help with. Why they wanted to stop us from becoming a legitimate travel company, I do not know. But I do know that they were not easy prey, and they were not happy when Petruchio came out claiming that the papers had been filed, and it was too late to stop it now. And of course, afterwards, the stitching up wasn't fun. All of them left under their own powder, but they did get a couple of good hits in, and they even got through my secondary layer of armor. So Petruchio had to stitch me up a bit.
Yeah,
Well,
you know.
not, as far as I'm aware, feeding off me, which I thought was very big of them. There's many a vampire I've known that would not have resisted the impulse, but Petruchio did.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I prefer to do negotiations more like civilized, like, but you know, as far as things go, that was, you know, so bad. It was not quite how we do it nowadays, but you know, we did it old school.
Aye, some 20 years ago.
Indeed.
Okay.
Aye.
So Dune lay about with punches. Petruchio, did you do any mentals? Since these were apparently vampire goons.
They didn't.
I,
Vampires.
you know, I mean, I couldn't really get any vampire reading off of them like that there, but you know, like Dune said, I did, you know, I managed to ward off some of them, and I took care of them. So
Aye. Petruchio, they did try and stop him from filing documents, but Petruchio was good enough with the computer to keep them off and to keep on the filing.
Okay.
It took 3 of them to hold me, and one to bother him. It was not exactly my proudest moment. I haven't been so badly overset since the time in Saga when the local football team, and I mean proper football, not whatever the hell the other people call rugby. Uh, the local football team took a hideous loss to the visiting team from uh, the Gerald system, 3 systems over. Very proud of our team we were, and very proud of their team they were, all the fans coming in. It was something of a bloodbath on both sides. Right?
Okay.
Ah,
Getting back to the moment in
sorry.
question, Petruchio. So these goons were vampires. Did you ever find out who sent them? Like
you know,
you were
we
a
went
von
out
true
and got
hacker.
them, but you know, I I really I can't abide by them being called vampires because like I mean I know vampires. I didn't know these guys. I know guys. I didn't know these guys.
Okay, but did you follow up on it through vampire channels? Like, were they
We tried
ghouls? Were
looking.
they pretend vampires? Like, were they somehow magicked to resemble vampires?
I think it could have been. It might have been magic, like to resemble vampires. I think it might have been an inside job. Um,
Okay, but you are a well-connected Von True with ties directly to the prince. So
at,
what?
at,
How did you follow up with an investigation of your own?
I mean, I asked around. I did, did my hacking there. But more or less it was, nearest I can figure. I think that it might have been set up by, one of the other families in a bid for power, to try to like overthrow my sire.
Okay. Okay. Well, at that point, your sire was dead. But you mean the prince of the city?
Yes.
Okay. Next up, all right. So then the two newer members of the team would be Klaus and Presley.
Nice.
Ooh.
Okay.
So, let me bring this up again. I need to shuffle these cards back.
I honestly feel like Klaus hasn't been here super, super long. Like a couple years, sure, but in the grand scheme of things,
Okay.
not terribly long.
So, you two again had a difficult obstacle to deal with. That you two were on your own, and the rest of the company was not immediately available to help you. So when you fixed this problem or surmounted this obstacle, it was an enormous, let's say, personal victory for both of you. And let's give you something a bit more to start with. Involving a client of yours for the company that was a violent young man. So was this a client or was this a business rival? From whichever side of the business you might be thinking of right now. Or was it an evil goose?
Okay, let's go with client.
Okay.
You okay
What
with
if,
that?
yeah, what if it's somebody who was one of my business rivals on the party scene who then came to us to be a client but still had beef going on?
Ooh.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the first time that Petruchio has trusted the two of us, fresh people, to be in the office alone and meet with a client alone. And we could call them. We could call Petruchio, but they're doing something else right now. They've got other clients to worry about.
Yeah.
So we have to handle this on our own.
Yup. Okay.
Oh, that's so. So was this angry young man another supernatural, or was he a vanilla human?
Yes, he had to get out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I can't imagine like a vanilla human business rival on the party scene would come to us if we're business rivals.
Yeah.
So
So
this is somebody who was desperate to get out and was going to take any contacts that he knew,
or at least he
even
was.
if we didn't get along.
So is it that he was pretending to need to get out to try and undermine your influence and contact somehow, or is that he actually needed to get out of town and then had to rely on someone he really didn't want to?
I think he actually needed to get out of town.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, if he didn't, then he could literally just go anywhere else, and this is, like, a lot of effort for someone who's just a business. Like, I mean, I get that it, shit gets dicey, but, like, there are better ways.
Yeah.
There's much less convoluted ways.
So I, of course, am very on edge when this guy walks in. I'm like, oh shit. Because this is going to be our first time, like, being in the office without the big boss around. And, I haven't been here long. You haven't been here long. I hardly know you at this point, and I'm just kind of hoping that you're gonna use the social skills I know you were hired for.
Absolutely.
But that only gets you so far when he gets angry.
Yeah.
It's because I drew a spades card, so this guy is a mage.
Oh shit.
So, kaboom.
Really a business rival then.
Oh yeah.
$5
Okay.
Mantis.
Okay, so
Another acanthath!
Mr. Wilson, I understand that you need to get out immediately, correct?
Yes. Yeah, as quickly as possible, please.
Okay,
I
that's totally
really
fine.
need to go on vacation yesterday.
Okay, we can arrange that. Just give me 1 minute. You know what, Klaus, can you get the A5 form?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, totally. I just need to get one quick form because we have to like fill out a customs thing. It's totally normal. So do you have everything that you need with you?
Yes, I am prepared to leave immediately for vacation.
Okay, perfect. That's great. Do you have a name that you would prefer?
Put down, Cabe Michelson, and he's sort of looking at this, file folder of papers that he already has. And Presley, at this point, you know what a fake identity paper trail looks like.
Uh-huh.
Usually Petruchio handles that side, but you've seen them, and he's like, yeah, Cabe Michelson, is what I will be going by, in this other system that I am going to very quickly, I hope.
Okay, no problem. Can I see that real quick? We just gotta put it in the system really quickly. Gotta get everything.
Yeah, he hands over his new driver's license equivalent, and
Okay. Getting that in the system. Okay. Okay. Mike. Okay. That's good. Okay, gonna check page 34. Okay. I think I've got everything in the system. Okay. Give me 1 second. I think we've just gotta do a few more quick things. But yeah. Yeah. So what's your reason for getting out today?
I just, some people really want to talk to me, so, about a thing, so I would much rather be on vacation than talking to these individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So the less they know about my, going on vacation, the better.
Okay. get that.
But this
That's
is a
totally-
local problem and not likely to follow me out of town.
Okay. So it's not like the. Is it like a problem that someone might find on the core world?
I'm sure this kind of problem happens on every world, but it mostly is an internal Eden system situation.
Okay.
The kind that certain authorities, for whatever reason, don't overlook the way that they overlook problems from outside the system.
Okay.
Presley, I won't make you roll this is all flashback. So, there's this thing that happens in Eden system that especially changelings have noticed, because there's so many fucking changelings. Eden emergency services and criminal investigation services are a lot better at following up on crimes in Eden system against Eden system than crime that's just passing through. Which is
Okay.
one of the reasons, maybe, that there's such a thriving black market that the cops seem to look the other way about. But generally, if you're messing with stuff within system resources and people, that's when the cops come for you. That's when you're in trouble and it's time to
So
move
he
on.
wants out because he did crimes.
He did crimes.
He did
is the
crimes.
sense.
He's not getting hated for existing, which is
Yeah.
often why people come to us.
Yeah. And
Okay.
Klaus, I believe Klaus is the one with the black market contact, so you probably already
Yeah.
suspect this, that he messed with Eden Resources system itself,
That's
as
what I'm
opposed to,
figuring.
yeah, as opposed to all of the pirates who basically use this as a drop point between different systems.
Yeah.
Basically, like, think of an entire black market almost using Eden system as, like, money, as a product and money laundering front.
Uh-huh.
But, like, it's weird how it works. But it did also save Eden system during the Silent War, because there were all these pirates
Uh-huh.
who were so interested in protecting their money laundering machine from everyone else and didn't want the EDF setting up an actual, like,
Okay.
core military presence.
So basically, he did a crime and he did a bad crime.
Yes.
And he wants to get away with it by using us.
Okay. That's fine. Okay. I got you.
Mhm. So while I'm going to get that form, I'm going to do a little digging and see if I can find out what this guy did, because if he's in here wanting to get away, yeah, he's a mage, which is enough reason for a lot of people to want to move, but usually from the core to somewhere else.
Exactly. Do I have a way to ping Klaus in a strategic, like, covert manner? Like, do we have an IM system in your office?
He's sitting in the not in Petruchio's office, but you have kind of the private client receiving room, we'll say.
Uh-huh.
And that Klaus is like, yes, I will take this document into our main office. So you could just, like, I have to go check on something outside, and he says he will wait here because he really has nowhere else to go.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
So you
just
can just go
taking a really long time as I'm trying to
Gotcha.
A, find out what happened, and B, probably have a slight mental breakdown of this is our
Gotcha.
responsibility.
Yeah, Klaus.
Gotcha. Okay.
Klaus, what?
Shit, I think
yeah.
I left one of the forms. I did not tell him to skip the. Okay, give me 1 minute.
Okay, Klaus, you very easily find that there is, so far it's only a level 1 bounty, which is basically they use the bounty system in place of warrants because it's easier, for the GM. But basically, a level 1 bounty isn't like shoot on sight, it's like, we want this person for questioning, but it does have to do with, certain, like there are factories in Steeltown, and there are some that are basically Eden has a lot of its own natural resources still, which is unusual for an expanse system, but they've been mining or more cultivating agriculturally slowly, and so they actually have a pretty sizable legitimate drug manufacturing kind of scene here. And a lot of these medicines, like, some get sold on the market to other systems, but mostly it's all just used internally. Like, you know, anything from, like, aspirin to cocaine or the equivalent. So, like, all levels of weird and soft and hard drugs. And this guy was stealing from, instead of doing what most pirates or most drug dealers do, which is getting their shit from out of system because huge black market, was actually had an in with one of, or they suspect someone's been stealing drugs from one of Idun's own pharmacological businesses. And he is wanted for questioning. Might mean he's a suspect, might mean he's a witness. But you won't be able to see any more than that without some digging.
Okay.
But but you know, your drug dealer sense is tingling.
Yeah.
And you know this guy's reputation. He probably stole some drugs, but from the wrong company.
Priceley comes out of the like meeting room, and I'm just like, this guy's bad news.
I was just going to say something like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna show her whatever I've found and be like, listen, I know his reputation.
Okay. So how do we get him out of here while also not dying?
And, you know, not tanking our company's reputation, because I'm pretty sure Petruchio and or Dune would probably kill us.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, level 1 bounty for a bad guy that's not trying to get out for any particular reason other than he did a crime. A crime that
he
is
did
bad.
something. He deserves whatever's coming after him.
Okay. Do we tell him that we can't help him? I mean, we can have a full-on system crash.
Yeah.
Can we make a full-on system crash?
Maybe. Crashing computers isn't that hard, right?
Well, not crashing, but like maybe just, you know, everything shuts down. Maybe if we like blow a breaker or something.
Okay, I'd like to remind you that you're also an underground railroad. So secreting people out, like, so you have effectively two reputations. One is legitimate business trade that doesn't work with criminals, and the other is effectively getting criminals anywhere they want to go without being tracked.
Yes, but criminals or...
So you have the resources to get him out without, you know... And he's on the books for you as Cape Michelson, not, you know...
Okay.
Darren Wilson... Darby Wilson, or no, that's dumb.
That's fine.
Mac Wilson. There we go.
Okay. Okay, so do we get him out, or what do we do?
I mean, ultimately, Klaus, he is a rival.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not gonna complain if we totally tank this guy's career.
So, like, get him out, or, like, alert someone to where he might be.
Also, if you want to charge him favors...
I mean, we can get him out and charge him wildly for the, you know, convenience of getting him out right now.
You can charge him cash and or favors.
He's...
You know what?
We'll just say a man of means.
And Priceley, Priceley, you're an expert salesperson. You could probably upsell this guy hard, because he is definitely desperate to get out.
Oh my god, this is great. Okay,
He set himself up. He doesn't even know what we're charging.
This is perfect. Okay,
get as much out of him as you can, and maybe I'll tip off the authorities on where he went later, but...
So I can get one universal favor, and what's the money system here?
It's imperial credits just for GM ease. And we're just
I
gonna
have
say they
written
work
that
like
1
dollars.
credit equals $1.
Yeah, I'm going with that.
So it will take about 5,000 credits and 1 universal favor.
Yep, sounds right.
Yeah.
From a Cabe Michelson. And since
Okay.
he dutifully gave you all of the papers, you can trace this new fake identity very easily. Or, well, maybe
Okay,
Petruchio
copy
would...
the-
Yeah, but...
And did he hand you his entire paper trail?
So
Hmm.
I'm going to scan this into the system.
Yeah.
I am going to tell him that we can book him on that transport out to the Tauron system tonight. But it's going to cost 5,000 credits and 1 universal favor. Very standard. Okay, I got this.
Yeah. You got this. We
Okay.
don't need to call Petruchio.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to the room.
And he's just like...
Okay, Mr. Michelson, here is your paperwork back. I can get you all sorted on the next transport to the Tauron system tonight. However, because it is so expedited, it is going to be a bit more expensive.
Okay, how much more expensive?
So that's going to be 5,000 credits and 1 universal favor.
Okay, 1 universal favor from Cabe Michelson. Okay, done. I can do that. Or rather, so here's the, no, we'll just say, yeah, he has universal, he's like, yeah, I can give you a universal favor. Yeah, I can do that. Just, the universal favor was technically given to, Mac Wilson, so if you're gonna use it, you might wanna have someone try and clean it, if you know someone in the Conservators Union. And you do, it's your boss, so that's something that could be done. Actually, no, wait, can universal favors be tracked? You know what? I'll say they can't, because that makes this more fun.
Okay.
They are clean money.
CAN?
They can, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because otherwise, he would have to pay you in a personal favor, and that can be tracked. But universal favor, yep. They would not be that valuable if they could be tracked like that. This is a cyberpunk world. So he's just like, done.
Okay. Okay, that was very simple.
And he actually just takes out of his jacket, they're like, what are they called? Action coins? In the US? It looks like that, but you know that this is, this coin has a chip on it that is for a universal favor, and he just puts that on, and 5 grand in cash, and a variety of bills, and he just puts them on the table next to each other, and he's like, alright, good.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. So question about universal favors.
Yes.
Do they, what is it? Do the universal favors, so they can't be traced?
I'm gonna say they can't, because otherwise they wouldn't be that valuable.
Once the guy's gone, there's no way that I can get him to do the universal favor.
Universal, they're kind of like boons that can be traded. Actually,
it's a universal
yeah.
favor.
Okay.
The only people that...
Yeah. He did something to earn that, and he's now giving it to us.
Yeah.
So I can use that.
So we can use it for his good deed.
Yeah. It's basically like a boon that can be traded. And the only people that can generate these are people in the Conservators Union. Ironically, Petruchio, who's the only one of you who would be allowed to be a harpy because he's a vampire. Or they're a vampire. Okay. So, it's words. I will iron out the details of this later, but yes.
Okay. Perfect. So universal favor, that's a very, very expensive good thing. Okay. Yes. Awesome. I'm doing them. Okay, let me get you, Cade Michelson, all set for transport to Tauron. Okay.
Okay, so yes.
you need to go to the shipyard. The transport is going to leave in about 2 hours.
Okay.
So do whatever you need to do, get everything as sorted as possible, and make your way over to the shipyard. It is on dock 230045.
Okay. All right, done. And he just, puts his black, his black trench coat, because this is definitely a bad guy, or well, he's a club guy, and he just books it to the shipyard.
Okay. Perfect.
And you have all of his information if you ever want to really do stuff with this. You would need Petruchio's help, but because Petruchio knows how to computers, well, you both have computers. It would take some hacking skills, but if you ever needed to track this guy in the future, you could. But as far as the local law enforcement knows, you did not do any business with a Mac Wilson. You did it with a Cape Michelson. And no one's got a level 1 bounty on that guy.
Nope.
So, all right. So, yes, you made a bunch of money for your company. You didn't get in trouble with the law, and you got a problem person that Klaus didn't like out of the system.
Okay.
And the
We
cops were
handled that,
nonetheless.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we got.
So how
I
basic,
trust you.
basically
Do
how
you see this? Do you see this universal favor?
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's all you. Like,
look at me. Okay, we got this. Plus, Petruchio is gonna be back, and we're gonna be like, we handled this so well, you have no idea.
Mhm.
Look at this universal favor. Okay, we are so going out for drinks tonight.
Oh yeah. And thus started Priceley's drug habit. Just kidding.
Okay, I dig it.
you knew Klaus was behind it.
It's entirely Klaus's fault. That's it. That's all there is to it.
Everything is close.
all
I
right.
love it.
Next. All right. So we've got 20 minutes left. We can belt out a few more of these, I think. All right. So now let's try Petruchio and Klaus.
Okay.
And what did y'all do?
What did we do?
So, there is a situation. Well, this is going to be interesting because it's a hearts card. So, it was you two. It was another one of those situations where you two in particular were the ones on deck to help a client that got stuck in the wrong system. To get them out of it, each of you had a particular skill from your character, a skill specialty, or it could be a specialty, could be just a very high skill, that gave you an edge in getting them out of whatever this weird situation was. And that's when you both got a sense of, oh, this other person is actually very skilled at their job. So if you had any doubts about them before, it's like, I don't know. It was like, oh, no, this is a very useful, class, aside from, getting that rival drug dealer out of the system. You and Petruchio had maybe never quite worked together on a situation.
Yeah.
So, let's see.
So I got hired just because I was able to get myself out of a situation, right? Like,
yeah, you basically...
pretty sure that was in the background.
you were one of their clients, technically,
Yeah.
and you managed to
And-
stop a pirate attack from sinking the ship you were on. Because Matter Mage.
Yeah.
And also, you know, stopping people from dying because medical expert.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll say, turn another card. So a vampire was on their way to Eden system when they got accidentally shut into the wrong system. Or maybe it was what would happen? A vampire tried to get from the core to the expanse. What went wrong?
I think something went wrong with the ship, forcing them to stop sort of early before they totally got out of the core to fix it. And I don't know off the top of my head what raises the stakes, why this is a dangerous situation for this vampire other than generally just being in the core. But yeah, now we gotta figure out how to either get that chip fixed remotely or how to get them on something else without them getting caught before that point.
I mean, fixing the ship remotely. I mean, I could probably do that. With remote work is kind of my thing.
Yeah.
And
It depends on what went wrong with it.
I
But if it was a
will say, important
wasn't
note
a
about
mechanical failure.
Yeah. Important note about magic in NWoD space. Magic cannot cross the abyss, i.e. space.
Okay.
In the organization that developed this, it's basically to stop people in other systems from remotely murdering your character with wacky magic. Oh, you laugh, but in other venues, this is it was a big problem.
I don't doubt. I laughed because that sounds very, very messy.
Yeah. So
that
now,
sounds hilariously messy, and I'm very glad we don't have to deal with that.
But now magic can't really be. You can do something to someone on the other side of your planet, but not on another planet. Even in the same system. Yeah.
I don't need magic to be useful.
Nope. But one thing, let's say that they got as far as the expanse because you guys can't go back to the core. Like, no, like y'all will die. So they made it get out ship burnt down before they can leave. Get out of another expanse system to make it a little bit easier on you. So Patricio,
yes.
Why is it dangerous still for this kindred to be in this expanse system?
No, it's not a very vampire friendly part of the system. It's dangerous. To be a vampire.
Okay. All right. Where's this short on time? So each of you, which particular skill in your arsenal is what you use and automatically crit on to help save this situation and this vampire and their monies?
Using my medicine and general knowledge of blending in to help make it so that this person doesn't read as a vampire at all to anybody else who isn't looking for them to be a vampire.
Okay.
I've learned how to mask me not being a normal human. I can help mask other people.
So you effectively create a plugin to basically give them a pacemaker so that they have a heartbeat again.
Basically.
All right. And they can pretend to breathe. That they can do, but they can't pretend to have a heartbeat. But you could easily build a pacemaker.
Yeah.
It's
but
like,
it's
I
not
can
that
figure
hard
that
to
in.
trick
Yeah.
those sorts of things if you are intending to do that.
And you know, it's a very standard piece of medical equipment and very easy to find.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Petruchio, what do you do to help the situation?
I think, I mean, hacking is what I do, so I'll hack the ship, double check what's going on with the ship, if there's anything I can fix from where I'm at. Worst case, I know guys, I know people, I can, if it's something that I can't fix, technologically speaking, I can hook them up with a mechanic, I got connections everywhere, I can get them set up to get them on their way.
Okay. Being a conservator, it does cost you a universal favor, but you are able to use, the Vontru network or on Fangbook to hook you up with a safe mechanic who won't ask too many questions. Once you've done a proper cleanup of the operating system and see that it is shit. And, well, this is what happens when you contract with pirates. They don't always have the best technology to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah, you fixed up what you could in the, in the ship's memory. And maybe got it working a bit better, but yeah, some of it was led to mechanical damage, but you were able to von through it. So yeah, you didn't realize Klaus could make a pacemaker with a paper clip and one of those little flat batteries, but they did.
Yeah, that's some ingenuity thinking right there. I like that, Klaus. I like that.
And Klaus, why is it that whatever system you're in, Petruchio seems to know someone who can fix something? Like you're getting a sense of Dune's, mafia thing, but, Petruchio's, whatever they're doing, they're playing it a lot closer to the vest. And you're not sure how they can find someone that quickly. I mean, they're also Conservators Union, so they're people what knows people. Conservators Union could effectively be its own mafia also. Imagine if the Giovanni generated their own boons. And just imagine... Yikes. Anyway. Alright, so I would say, we could start up next game with more of these, if you want to do more.
This is fun, honestly.
Yeah, this is good exercise, yeah.
It's making up some stories for us to have some history as a group. That we've
Yeah.
all been working for this company for several years at least. And
There are a lot of shenanigans.
yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
so... Dune and Presley.
Okay. Yeah, we got 10 minutes.
No, I don't want to do another spades. I want to do
Real
another...
quick, while I'm thinking about it, here's the card with the faceless old woman who secretly lives in your home. Yes, she is
Ooh.
crawling on a ceiling with a knife.
That's incredible.
Woot!
I think about her a lot.
Is this a fan-made deck, or is this official merchandise?
It's official merch.
Cool.
I love
My
it.
brother got it for me for Christmas last year.
They know their audience.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the same artist who did a lot of the artwork and covers for their books.
Lights pass swiftly overhead while we all pretend.
Okay, this is... Okay, I'm gonna say off the bat, this can have nothing to do with the Wolfblood Mafia. So this is something you found outside of that realm of influence, just to make it a little bit more interesting. Okay, diamonds. How the group found something that helped them along the way, such as an oasis, minor treasure, ammo, food, friendly locals, etc. So we'll say something, if not tangible, something that can be reflected in a background point that I can then add to the company sheet. So we will say, let's see, so mage, okay, so again, y'all were tasked with Dune and Presley. You were the only ones on hand who could travel out of system and Dune, so, Stygian Gate, fun. So y'all are in another. Y'all are in an. What is the name of this other expanse system?
Ah, um,
But
uh,
Torgon 5.
What is it?
Torgon
But
5.
Torgon 5. Yeah.
Well, the system is Torgon. The planet is Torgon 5.
Yeah.
Yep, that's how that works. Okay, so on Torgon 5, y'all had a client who was a mage. This woman was, from what basically Klaus heard. You noticed the look on Klaus's face when they heard her name. This is someone who is basically a super powerful mage. Was actually captured on Torgon 5 by... There's apparently, like, this group that they are mages, but they hate mages, so they hunt them, and it's weird.
That's real bizarre.
Yeah, it's like, why would they do... Okay, fine. It's not like the technocracy, it's like, I forget how it works in NWoD. Anyway, but yeah. So she was captured by other mages. She is some kind of hierophant from her own system, but needs help. Unfortunately, Klaus and Petruchio were unavailable, so only Pricely and Dune could go. So each of you finds something that can be described in a background dot in Torgon 5, or at least you discover it on Torgon 5. It might be a more universal thing, like... And you get this background material or to help you rescue this mage.
So, when we got to Torgon 5, we had to figure out where the mage was being held. Fortunately, Pricely is very good at getting things out of people. In this case, she got an invitation to a local shindig where we might find some the people who would know where the mage was. However, it was the kind of shindig where only the high and mighty attend, and they would be expected to bring bodyguards, if you will. Uh, it was something slightly more fancy than a shindig, but nearly. In the end, it's all just the same thing,
It's a
really.
to-do!
So, so we got all gutsied up. Well, I believe she was female presenting at the time, although I couldn't tell you exactly. It's hard sometimes. And we went to this event. It was a fancy dress event. We found Pricely was very good and found us some local costumers. I have never before been more done up in my life, and I did not really appreciate it. But
Oh, but you look fantastic.
Please tell me you took pictures, Pricely.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Steve, you look amazing. Oh my god.
I would rather be strangled to death by vines from the hedge than wear this again. Though
Yeah,
it
but
is
you clean up so nice though.
It is still technically in my closet. So we went to this event, this evening social event.
Okay, Presley, who are you pretending to be? Because it sounds like Dune was the bodyguard, so who was Presley pretending to be that night to get into this to-do, which is like a shindig, but fancier?
Lady Elizabeth Foppington the Third. Yes.
Yes. And guest.
Yes, Lady Elizabeth Foppington the Third.
Okay.
So over the top, and I'm here for it.
Yes. Of course, only the best. Do I look like I travel, like, not in style at all?
Not right now, you don't. Like,
Of course not.
Lady Elizabeth Poppington the third. Okay, third.
You must
So
be
the
thinking
Lady
more about the
Elizabeth.
third.
Lady Elizabeth was one of the premier young ladies at the event, and a number of young men tried to pay court to her. None of them were the ones we were looking for, unfortunately, but they persisted anyway. So while she was otherwise occupied, I ended up finding the information we needed for to find the Hierophant. But some of these young men were very persistent indeed, and I believe Priestley collected their information and promises of future favors, let us say. Uh,
So you now have some high society influences.
Yes, I do.
All right.
influences.
Poppington did good.
High society allies.
So I would call the event a success. I don't know if Priestley would. Uh, they spent the next day and a half whining at me about how their feet hurt after so much dancing. But we did, in the end, find the Hierophant in the converted warehouse slash sewer cistern thing they were keeping her in. And after some persuasion, let us say, of the perhaps more violent kind,
Luckily,
I
she was
did,
only being guarded by proximy.
yes. But even Proxime can't stand up to C4 explosive. So it did take some local contacts to get together the proper materials, but we did, in the end,
Yes. With
manage to extract the Hierophant from the people who were
so
holding her.
so Presley, you have two dots. Suddenly, have two dots of high society allies, and you need them to. You need to find a reason for them to furnish you with C4 and Dune. What were the other items you needed? Weapons
Uh,
or
I was not going to the high society for this stuff.
oh no
I
no,
was going.
Presley is. I'm not. I'm saying
Yeah.
this automatically succeeds. You just have to tell me how you did it. So Dune says so. They took it out with C4. What other like smoke bombs or stun weapons?
I
Dune, you
I
give me
had
a list of materials, and then Presley has to say how she got it out of her new high society boyfriends, who were all still
um
texting her burner phone the next day.
I have oh yeah, blowing up
Yeah.
that phone. I had C4 breaching charges, stun grenades, smoke grenades. I didn't have any stun weapons. I had
These
instead
for
I
stun.
no, I had some highly illegal knives. And I mean like the kind, butterfly knives and that kind of thing,
Oh yeah.
and some other. I mean, they're illegal now. I don't know if they'd be legal in the future, but um, and I had
Things are
I
less legal in
had a stun
Torgan. Things are surprisingly more lenient about weaponry in Eden than in Torgun. Mostly
yeah,
because Eden's like, well, we're pro supernatural, so there are people walking around who are actual weapons. So
yeah.
someone has a 12-inch knife, we're not going to get that upset about it unless they use it to murder someone.
Yeah.
So Presley, grenades and C4 and giant knives. What do you say to your one or more new rich boyfriends? Like what is the yarn you spin? Because Presley can charm the birds out of the trees and make it sound completely practical.
Probably something along the lines of,
Like, hey, how you doing? It's like, I'm still thinking about you from last night. It was
No.
amazing.
Oh my god.
Like, what can I
Hi.
do for you while you, like, what do you want to do? Like, while you're in town, you want to do something?
I
Like,
mean,
do you need
that's the
anything?
thing. This party is just so terribly boring.
Well, I mean,
I
last,
think there's something to make it exciting. You know, I was watching this really amazing movie yesterday, and there was this party, and suddenly like somebody there was this like explosion, and everything like was just, it was all very exciting. You just there was almost this like
confetti effect was really, really cool. And the problem is that everyone here, I mean, not you, all of you are very,
Well,
very
this is the
funny.
day after the party. So yesterday's party was so boring. Let's do it. But he
Wait,
invites you
what?
to it.
I'm confused.
Yeah. So
I'm confused where we are.
the day after the party, one or more of your new boyfriends calls you and is like, "Hey, you want to go to another party tonight?" And you're like, "Oh, but let's make it more interesting."
Gotcha. Wait, so when did the C4 happen? I'm very confused.
The C4 happened the day after the party when you went to rescue the mage lady.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But the connection between the to-do and the rescue is Presley getting all of the weaponized materials from her boyfriends.
And Dune getting information about where the Hierophant was from another
Yeah.
person at the party.
That'll say, yeah, that worked out. But
couldn't do because she was so busy with her boyfriends.
however, but this is what this card seems to be about. So Presley,
Okay,
so your boyfriends invite you to another party.
hey, yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing. I've always wanted to, make my own movie because I honestly think that I should be a star of stage and screen. But secondly, I just want something. I want my life to imitate art, you know? Don't you ever feel that?
Yeah. You would be such a great movie star. It would be so awesome. Yeah.
Thank you, Thaddeus.
Thaddeus.
I agree. So, yeah, you know, why don't we make our own movie scene?
Sweet.
So
Awesome.
I'm gonna need these are the things that they had in the movie. So we just need to get these things.
Oh sure, I can figure that out. Like I know people who work in weapons dealing. That's so easy.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Because I just want my life to imitate art, you know?
Yeah, that would be so much more fun.
So much more fun.
It just elevate our elite lives to such a great degree. And also Thaddeus doesn't seem to understand that the explosives in movies are not real, so he is totally on board for this. So yes, you convince Thaddeus and possibly other impressionable young persons to furnish you with all this stuff for a movie, and then how do you get I'll say you're able to just take the stuff, but how does Elizabeth excuse herself from that evening's festivities to actually go rescue the mage?
Let me think. What I do is I start sending all of my boy toys off to get me various things.
Oh yeah. On top of aside from the weapons?
This one needs to go get me a drink, but not just any drink. It needs to be a special drink that you can only get at this one particular shop on the other corner of town. And then that one needs to do some... Basically, every single one of them, I think there's 6, they all have to do very specific things for me that require them to be away so that I can just do. Yeah.
Oh
Does
god,
that- does anyone-
What if you introduced Dune as your director for your movie?
Hello, I'm the director.
Actually, fuck, yeah. Yeah, it's actually a really good idea. You know what? Yeah, okay, so this right here, this is James. Okay.
Hello.
Okay, so James is the most amazing director. I found him when I was working in Spolly. You know, I met him in Spollywood. Yeah. He's super, super talented. He's one of the next rising stars. And
you seen The Moon Rises in the West? I directed that one.
It's so good. Have you seen it?
No, but we'll totally look it up now. You know what this reminds me of? If you've seen Daria, Daria's little sister Quinn has 5 boyfriends who are all just doing things for her, and it's this is totally that. Yeah, we'll totally go see it later. Yeah, sounds great. Yeah.
It's so good.
So
Okay.
so
Basically, we need to set up these things.
okay, yeah, we'll do that, or have our servants do that. Yeah, and yep. Hi, Fadir.
We can have all of. Actually, you know what? We're gonna have all of these dumb guys just do this for us.
Yeah, they are setting up. They are fetching things and setting things up, or more managing their own personal assistants, setting things up, and no one's got a clue what's going on because there are so many people and it is so busy. And it is very easy for, since no one is really watching the weapons and explosives, for the director and the star to just kind of, because you know what they say, like, filming is what you do between setting up the lights.
Yeah. So the big thing right here. Okay, boys.
Yeah.
So James's specialty is something called guerrilla filmmaking.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that like
So,
using
like,
gorillas? Or is it gorilla with a U? I forget.
Okay, so basically what it is that it's like stealthy.
Okay.
So like,
Oh my god. They filmed this rescue in the
there is this movie that was filmed in okay, it's super old, but have you ever heard of Escape from Tomorrow?
One of them has. Daniel has heard of it.
Daniel, oh my god, I knew you would. Okay, you seem to know things. But yeah, so you know how like they were just like walking around the park with like their phones just like low-key filming? So that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, we'll be like old-time
so
old-time Spollywood founders, yeah. You always wanted to do that, says Daniel.
So James is gonna do all the filming, but like we need you to help us set up, but we need to do it like on the DL, okay?
Do you have them set this all up in the...
To be, like, super real.
Do you have them do this in the warehouse as the mage rescue?
Yes.
Yes. I approve. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna get these dumb guys to do this for us.
Doing
My favorite
we'll get a camera strap to him for us to say, yes, the entire thing is filmed.
So Dune, you've seen Presley get some really good sales, but now you are seeing her just like completely manipulate 6 stupid rich people into creating a guerrilla movie set as the rescue you have to perform.
Presley, I've seen you do some really impressive things. But I don't know if this is really impressive or really impressive. They're rich people. They don't know about the first thing about weapons free and that sort of thing. But I'm impressed that you managed to do it. I'm just not sure it was the wisest of ideas.
But it totally worked.
Okay, but does it get the job done?
It gets the job done because
it gets the job done.
It gets the job
So
done.
then it's a good.
Hopefully, some of the servants they have helping are actual military veterans. That Dragoon is actually doing the military part of this nonsense.
The servants with them don't see, like it's basically like their posses and wingmen. They're not necessarily useful people, more like just yes persons. There maybe is one person that you think might know how weapons work, and they don't seem convinced that this is a good idea, but they're going along with their bankroll.
Yep.
And because Dune knows how to set up a sting, and a guerrilla movie set, you manage to non-lethally take out all of the guards and save the mage and flounce off as the end of the movie. And this actually
comes. Oh my god, we do have footage though, because the twit heads would have been suspicious otherwise. So we do actually make.
You do make a movie.
Film of this.
So,
oh my god, that's what we get out of this.
Do either of you look
a really good movie?
So you also get a dot of fame as filmmakers. But they know you as Elizabeth and James.
Yes.
But these are personas that you can pull out when you need advisors.
People might recognize James and Elizabeth.
So, do you actually
Not
look
like
for...
Dune has highly recognizable facial tattoos or anything.
Well, the thing is, Dune was directing, so Dune wasn't really... So you actually had some of the rich boys, because eventually the rich boys, they also want to be acting, so they actually are the ones on camera doing all the stuff. Yeah.
Crash
Yeah.
how to throw a stun grenade without blinding yourself.
Daniel does, like, Dune is the director, but they don't hear back from you for a while, so Daniel actually cuts a lot of the footage he has together and sends it to Price or Lady Elizabeth's burner phone, and is like, look, I put this on the internet, on Starnet. So this whole ridiculous thing is on Starnet somewhere, like on StarTube.
Do we win any awards?
You win, you win a fan award. There's like basically a sci-fi convention has their own fan awards for like indie films. So by the next year,
So not an independent spirit.
no.
No, not at all. Pick on all the
So parent, con film award. So yeah, I'll write this all up on the document, and yeah. So you get like for your YouTube video, or the YouTube video that Daniel puts up and that you are in.
Part of anyway, yeah.
And even though Starnet is, watched by the government, there is enough smoke and explosions and weirdness that like anyone who might have tried to like, okay, clearly something like, and nothing supernatural happened that they could tell. This is all practical explosions. So the authorities like do look into it. They're just like, we don't know what happened. Like
that's the award we get. Is excellent practical effects.
Oh, that's it. It's that they trace this, and the people that they can connect to it are all the rich boys, and their elite families stop them from getting, written up for blowing up a derelict warehouse cistern that no one was using for anything important. And even their parents are like, look, it's just artistic expression. No one got hurt.
Exactly.
And if they were, we paid them to keep their mouths shut. And yeah, so this might have increased hostilities between mages and elites mages and elites in Torgan 5, but y'all can't be connected to it. And scene. So, yes.
Amazing.
I say we start next game with more of this.
Bunch of dumb boys. I love making dumb boys do stuff.
Dumb boys are the best.
Yes.
Anyway, so we'll say it's 10:16 now. So thank y'all for sticking around a little late. I think we're gonna start next session with more of this because this is fucking funny. And we're kind of between plot arcs, so we can do this for a while and then start the next plot arc, or just keep doing this all next session. It's fine.
I like this. This is fun.
Okay, yes. It's like I'm running the equivalent of a short story anthology of like apocryphal to the main novels.
I feel like this is the most fun I've had this entire campaign.
You
Okay.
mean film directing.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, these are really fun.
Okay.
I like actually having like, yeah. I feel like I know more about these people now.
Yes.
We need it. We'll have a scene together eventually.
It helps when the first rule is first rule for me as GM in this new game within a game or mini game or series of mini games is whatever they want to do works. They just have to tell me what they want to do, because this is all in the past.
This already happened, so it must have happened correctly.
Yeah, I mean, you're all alive now, so you must have succeeded.
We know enough about how the world works to know what's within the realm of reality.
I'm very flexible on those rules, hence the Zamboni, the weaponized Zamboni in a previous episode. Like, I'm just like, can you explain it to me in a way that makes enough sense? Yes, you can do it, just do it.
Yeah.
I am here for the Zambonis of death.
Listen, Arcane, I really hope that Chris is not foolish enough to mess with timeline splitting as
Oh,
a
no.
GM.
They're in my Changeling the Dreaming game, which is based on codename Kids Next Door. So they're all 10-year-old childlings, and one of them started buying Chronos, and the other one actually wants timeline, and Arcane wants timeline shenanigans. So I am still working it out, but it's
Timeline shenanigans are rough.
yes.
Yeah.
So I didn't
As the
invite
DM
this.
who's about to finish a 2-year-long campaign in which
Yep.
we did mess with time travel. Ah.
And as someone who first encountered the space venue in an international gaming organization where everything had to be very structured and by the book and to the rules, I am willing to go off all rails here. All of them. No rails are sacred.
Rails? What are those?
Rails. Where we're going, what are rails? I don't know. Anyway, so thank you,
Where
chat.
we're going, you won't need rails.
Thank you, thank you, chat, for coming on this madcap adventure with us. Because when I said Muppets, I'm like, no, I'm here for it. Or someone said Muppets, and I'm like, I'm here for it. Let's do this. I'm the storyteller, Ms. Chrysula, on all of the social medias, including most Discords and all the things. So, yeah. Hi. Instagram and Twitter and all the things. And we don't have a Twitter account yet, but maybe we should. But if you want to know if we're playing that night, just check Twitter. Just check my Twitter. And yeah, and we have a YouTube channel. It is linked on our Twitch page. Woohoo! So, Dune, who is you?
I'm Merc. I play Dune. And I'm Merc on the Discords. I don't really do much except write things, which I post on Discord anyway. Not about this, but the other things. Yeah, you can find my Discords. There's basically nothing going on for the next week that I really want to push. So, see you guys next week.
Labor Day weekend. Woohoo! So no metaverse. But in general, check out Zombie Orpheus Entertainment and the Fantasy Network and all their stuff, because it's fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I help support the Fantasy Network.
Yes. Alright, Patricio, who is you?
So, I'm Dark Danny. I played Trukio. Don't really have anything I want to push, but thanks for having me. Thanks for watching.
Yay! Presley, who is you?
Hi, I was Presley. I am Sunburst Splendor. I don't really have anything to push, I don't think. Not at the moment. Yeah, and this is Bosco, the Chunkelskog, our new son. He arrived today.
Excellent.
Yay! Excellent.
C++.
More cuddly friends. Alright, Klaus, who is you?
Hi, I'm Dracus. I've been playing Klaus. You can find me as actual Dracus on Discord and Instagram, and that's about that on social medias right there. I don't know when I'm gonna get around to it at this point because the school year just started, but I am streaming that game I'm wrapping up after 2 years. I'll link my Twitch channel for that in the chat, but keep an eye out. Whenever we get around to playing it, it'll be fun because all of my players think they're way more screwed than they are.
Well, let them keep thinking that, because that's what's fun.
Yeah.
Wise word.
But, yeah.
Then I'm a World of Darkness GM, so my favorite moments are when you all descend into... Well, okay, Tide, this was really fun, but what's also just my standby fun is when y'all descend into paranoid speculation.
Yeah.
It's like, but what did this, what,
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
thing, this, and I'm like, I'm a World of Darkness GM, that's why I do this. But yes, I'm very much, I am enjoying this anthology.
My favorite.
What?
Yeah, no. As a GM, I'm just gonna sit here and listen to you ramble, and then I'm gonna pick my favorite.
Well, I had this plot written out, but we could go in a different direction. But yes, so yes, thank you, chat, for sticking with us a bit late tonight, but we were having some fun, and yep. So yeah, check out the VODs for previous adventures and some one-shots, or a one-shot so far, and thank you for joining us for our inaugural Streamlabs OBS stream, and it hasn't crashed yet, so yay. Though it is a bit awkward using StreamYard, so I guess the next step is finding out how to just use Streamlabs and not StreamYard, but that's tomorrow Chris's problem. But yay, we have an overlay and a save screen, and it's awesome. Temp not the gremlins, I know. I said it out loud, I shouldn't have. But yes, thank y'all for coming. We'll be back next week, same Welsh Bat time, same Welsh Bat channel. If you can't tell, I really like yes-anding my players. And yeah, so we'll see you next week. Bye!
Bye.